Hey everybody, it's Chris from UZURV Operations here. I've driven for Uber and Lyft since November of 2014. Lyft more recently than that, but I started with Uber back when they first launched in Pensacola, Florida. I wanted to build a clientele. I found so many people saying, how can I get you again? That I went out to Vistaprint.com and had some regular old business cards with my name and my phone number put on them, and I was handing them out to passengers. And one night, I got a group that was a part of a larger Mardi Gras group, so they're like social events, especially in the Panhandle near Mobile, Alabama. And they got stranded late at night out at this area, so I spent 3 hours transporting 4 at a time home on an Uber trip. Made a few $100s doing that because I kept the trip. They wanted me to keep the trip running until I got everybody home. But after that, I forged a relationship. And looking back, I wish I would have had UZURV, because there was so many times where, one part of a group or another part of another group would call me and want rides at the same time going to the same event, but they're going from 2 different sides of town, and I couldn't be in 2 places at once. So I was fortunate enough to have 1 or 2 other drivers that I knew of that I was able to call and farm out the rides to. But like I said, UZURV would have made things a lot easier. I would have been able to add more value to my clientele at that point in time. So UZURV for me is a way of taking it from one-dimensional service, which is just me, in the city that I happen to be driving in, to a more of a 3-dimensional level of service, which is not only me, but I can also give out drivers that I trust. The riders have the choice of the vehicles that they ride in. And then more importantly, I can lend out that trust nationwide so they can continue to have that level of service no matter where they go. Now, when it comes to pricing, 99 cents I see as it is a tax write-off. It's a business expense, so you do get to write that off on your taxes. But more importantly, coming from the sales and financial services world, every tool you have, you pay for. People, for instance, just taking it back into the rideshare industry for a second, drivers pay for Surge Chaser. One day people will be paying for Maestro. There's people paying for Quick and Book Self-Employed. When it comes to financial services, sales lead generators or sales customer service management systems, all of those things cost you money as a small business owner. So for me, to pay 99 cents per reservation completed isn't that big of a deal. My average incentive right now overall is hovering right around $7. So I look at it as I'm making $6 above and beyond, and my riders are paying the other $1 for me. Harold reached out to me on Facebook, and when he was driving through Florida about a year and a half ago, we set up a meet at Big Lou's Pizza. And the first thing he needed to do before he came to the meeting is he needed to go to the airport queue in Gainesville and meet drivers there. He turned around and he told me about this app that hadn't even launched there yet. It wasn't in the App Store. Total beta testing. You have to get emails and this and that. And I just seen it as a big opportunity. Within 8 months, I started to make real money, and I was getting picked almost every single time I showed interest in the reservations in Gainesville, Florida. I was constantly marketing it. I was marketing it to myself. I was marketing it to hotels. I was marketing it to, ironically enough, a medical group who is getting ready to launch a Uber Central account, and they want to utilize UZURV to schedule out their clinical trial patients. So, it's all about forging relationships as drivers with various different people. Whether you're going to take the reservations or not, it's massively beneficial for you to continually just tell every single person about UZURV. And whether they use it today or they use it 8 months from now, at least they're going to use it at some point. So if I could give any words of wisdom to drivers before I cut this video off is, don't ever give up on your rideshare business. Don't ever stop learning about rideshare because it's ever evolving. And it's why all of us on the operations team continue to drive on the weekends, especially. Well, it's the time that we have. to drive. And constantly keep an open mind to what other people are saying, and try to refrain from calling each other idiots. Because you never know when that person you call an idiot is right, and then you have to swallow your pride and admit that they were right. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you find at least some of the information that I provided in this video beneficial. Have a great one.